Hey guys, just putting out a quick one before my workout and shower today while I have this window of opportunity to actually record and use voice and all that. I tried yesterday during a brief, I think I did it during a smoke break or something, and I didn't know how much time I had, so it was rushed and stupid, so I'm kind of redoing it. I might add some thoughts here or include that into this. Hey guys, good to see you again. I only have a little bit because the narc finally went out for a smoke after his breakfast. It only took him like a half hour just sitting there in silence, like, come on. But I'm waiting to do my video because I got shit to talk about. I didn't get to do it yesterday because he didn't leave till after sundown, so basically I had no opportunities, but I wanted to talk about religion and how it relates to brand loyalty. Being so enamored with a certain belief system that anything outside of that belief system you can't trust because you trust the belief system more. That's the God thing. But Coca-Cola, Nestle, stuff like that, like people who are brand loyalists that think no harm would ever come to them from the brands that they choose. Coke, Nestle, the big corporations are only in it for like the good of the people. They would never do any harm. If it was, it'd be unknowingly, and as soon as it was brought to their attention, they would correct it, assuming the best in big, popular, well-known brands, when the reality of what they are doing in order to maximize profits and minimize costs on their end is usually to the detriment of their customers. We only find out about it when people do the investigating and the questioning. But that is what religion tells you not to do. Don't question anything. Blindly follow. Put your faith and trust in things. Don't question it, because questions are dangerous. Questioning the narrative is dangerous. So questioning whether Coke basically invented Christmas as we know it through advertising, to question that is dangerous for the whole damn thing, right? So we're taught not to question things like that. The distrust of off-brand stuff, like, Coke is engineered to taste superior to everything else. I don't know of a cola that I prefer over Coke. Used to enjoy Pepsi thoroughly. RC Cola is pretty good. I've had some decent colas, but really, if you were to pick a baseline cola flavor, it's Coke. Anyone comes in with like, whatever the Walmart cola is, we already know that's going to be a inferior type. So off-brand, we're not going to trust it to be as quality, as tasty, that the ingredients might even be like more harmful, even though they're less likely to have the things in it that cut corners and save costs for the company but are really a detriment to you. So, or designed to make it more appealing, not necessarily adding to its value to your nutrition or things. That goes into trust of certain things, like this Skippy. Who wouldn't love Skippy peanut butter, right? But you find out that like the baseline, the normal, the not natural Skippy, the blue label stuff, actually has like rapeseed oil and all these seed oils. It's hydrogenated soy oils and all kinds of crap in there just to make it a consistent product. But it's harming you so much But they don't care. They just want consistency. But Skippy Natural even has palm oil in it, palm kernel oil or whatever, which is also crap. What the fuck is going on here? There. The thing is screwing with my... There. So it's a good point that they obviously don't have your best interest in mind. They have their best interest in mind. But it's Skippy. You know, it's what we all, grew up eating. Like, oh, we all love it. Choosy Mouth, Shoot Chef, same fucking thing. Oh, here I have a blue label Skippy right here. Hydrogenated vegetable oil, cottonseed, soybean, and rapeseed to prevent separation. And then this has the palm oil in it. It's still bad. Like, they say it's natural, but why not coconut oil or something like that? Or just 100% peanuts. Which, okay, this doesn't taste as good as Skippy. But, and it's more of a pain in the ass because you gotta mix it every time. Because it separates. But it is so much better for you. It's a better product. But it's got this kind of label on it. And any kind of brand loyalists or like religious people who are like brand loyalists aren't even gonna give this a second thought because of how like basic it looks. It doesn't look fancy enough for, Anyway, moving on. To the ignorant, avoidance doesn't feel like fear when you're avoiding it. It just feels like avoidance. So when you fear something, but the baseline is the fear of it that makes you avoid it. But in the act of it, it doesn't feel like the fear. There is no fear, it's just avoidance. You prefer not to. Like spending money. You avoid spending money. But you avoid it because you have a fear of it. Fear of losing, fear of running out, fear of spending too much. There's a huge... Well, I'll just cut it off there, just so I'm not ending on a half thought or something. Like and subscribe. It's good to see you. I love you. And never stop spreading your light. But welcome to another one of just shooting the shit, I guess. I have some ideas. First, I guess I'll start in backwards order since I did cover some of this stuff already. I want to talk about Rupert Sheldrake. Now, I'd heard his name for many years being talked about in various circles regarding like certain things with science and spirituality, maybe a little bit, but I never really looked into the individual until I'd seen something recently. He was talking about morphic resonance, and he's actually the guy that came up with it along the lines of, morphic resonance, leading back to like creation and stuff like that. Golden ratio type stuff, Nautilus shell and Fibonacci spirals type stuff. Whew, that took a lot to spit out. I really couldn't find the words for that, but very interesting stuff. And I saw some old stuff from the 90s of him talking to Terence McKenna. I'd never even heard really anything from Terence McKenna before, but seeing those two go back and forth, that was kind of interesting. Very interesting guy. Check him out if you're interested in sort of seeing he's a PhD, some kind of high level biologist. Interesting to note that he had become an atheist who then went back to spirituality after finding his big breakthrough of morphic resonance. Kind of an interesting story there. He said that science had turned him into an atheist, but then his own science had brought him back. During this time of heightened solar activity, they're talking about it even being comparable to a Carrington event 2.0. I guess the Carrington event was pretty substantial, and I haven't heard anything happening substantially yet, but I don't exactly know where we are falling in the solar type radiation that we're getting. Like, have the sunspots, has the sun rotated to be showing us the sunspots yet? Are we still bracing for impact? Like, what is actually happening? But I haven't noticed any. They're talking about earthquakes and eruptions and stuff still, but as far as like the power outages and the shit going haywire, I haven't heard anything yet. So what have you noticed? I've noticed things being a lot more truthful, and that the truth is finding its way instantaneously, almost cutting through bullshit in ways that it just would have not. It would have taken Herculean efforts to make it through the amount of bullshit it's been cutting through lately over these last couple days. From the odd thing that happened in the comment section of the premiere that I was watching yesterday, and the subsequent, what happened afterwards, still is unsolved. And check out that video too if you're curious. Very strange. Just briefly, I was talking to an individual in the live chat of the premiere. The premiere ended, the live chat closed. I went to the comment section, reached out, and said, hey, so-and-so, here I am, let's talk. Waited about an hour. That person got back to me an hour later and put in 3 big comments into the now comment section of the video that had been a premiere. And now it was on me to get back to them. So I read their comments. They looked rushed. They looked chased, like a chased energy. They looked frantic a little bit. But I put in there, hey, it's really great to reach out to you. Yeah, I don't really want to put private stuff in this public forum. Let's move this to a private thing. Here's my email. I look forward to helping in any way that I can. Kind of left it at that, waiting for a response. Then I started to notice, because of how desperate this person kind of came across in their chat, their comments, I was expecting a more prompt reply, so I kind of kept checking back on it instead of just waiting for YouTube to decide when they want to notify me, hey, there's been a comment to one of your posts or whatever. A half hour later, sometimes fucking YouTube, sometimes they're Johnny on the spot with things. Other times they're like, oh yeah, by the way, 57 minutes ago someone commented to your reply. Like, what the fuck? Maybe let me know 57 minutes ago. Why did it take that long? The bullshit, But anyway, so I'd refresh and I'd check, and I realized, holy shit, some of my comments are disappearing. And actually, the more I looked into it, I realized that actually all of the ones where I would have left my contact information are gone. Only the ones where I didn't leave my contact information are still surviving in this section. I'm like, are they being deleted? Alex, even though she's showing support for us talking, is she behind the scenes sitting there deleting everything? No. So then I started looking into it. I started recording my screen. I started leaving comments, and check out the video for more details, but it was just weird. Still is. I still don't have any resolution on it. I haven't talked to Alex, haven't talked to the person, haven't gotten an email. For those of you curious, I did leave my email in my bio, and that comment stayed. So that whoever read and is following this knows that my email's in my bio. I still haven't gotten an email. So I don't even know if the individual I was trying to contact is legitimate, is actually looking for help, is, what they say they are, or if they would have seen my post, my email, anything. No emails, no nothing from the channel creator, nothing. So to talk more on the topic that I had tried to hurriedly get into yesterday, I really wanted to talk about religion, brands, brand loyalty, religious loyalty, and toxic faith. When having faith in something can be toxic, or when having generalized faith in things is a toxic behavior. Religion preaches faith, blind faith, faith without proof. It's believing without proof. Faith is a fickle thing, because you can have faith in something that you know, but if you don't know it, to ask for faith in it is to be asking you to shut off your logic and your thinking abilities and your discernment and your sort of capacity to question things. You give up your sovereignty to the thing, expecting it to be what it says it is. When people do that with religion, I want to draw that connection to that they're going to have a tendency to do that with other things. Mainly medical, big medicine, big pharma, governments, not religions, but religions especially, but political parties. If you subscribe to a certain political party, instead of questioning the individual policies on whether or not they are aligned with your values, which for the most part they do a pretty good job of drawing the line on character and who's going to be involved in which party and where that division is, being able to separate the two so that you either get one polar opposite of the other. It's never, we kind of agree on this, but we don't agree on that. And, they try to give the illusion that that's happening, but it's not. They're so polar and divisive. But the people that would tend to give their blind faith over to something are the ones that would tend to fully just believe in big brands, big corporations, like capitalism, consumerism, Coca-Cola, Nestle, Nike, Apple, all of the big reputable brands, the things that other people are invested in, that due to the vested interest make them seem like they are trustworthy, legitimate, believable, and that they have your best interest in mind. So you're putting your faith into these things without any question, without using any discernment, and really not asking it to impress you at all with its results. In fact, even when they discourage you or disappoint you, you have these people have a tendency to kind of give them a pass. Sort of like, oh, well, they had the best interest of everyone else in mind. It didn't really work out for me. There must be something wrong with me for why this such and such didn't work out the way it was supposedly intended to work out for me. It just didn't because of some sort of failure on my part. That's the common narrative of people who are using blind faith and allowing it to run their lives. People who really don't even think about how much sugar is in your average soda and what that's doing to their body, but yet have multiple sodas in a day, 3, 4, 5, maybe sometimes. Even one soda a day is too much. Way too much sugar. You shouldn't even be having that much sugar in an entire day from everything that you consume. Cut that in half and that'd be about probably how much total you should have. But yet, people are having multiple. That alone is disregarding yourself and your own health. And it's putting your faith in that, oh, soda really isn't as bad as people say it is. See, I'm still living. I'm fine. I feel fine. Even though they don't realize that soda is making them actually feel like crap. And that's why they reach for another one. And another one. And then one after that. To the point where that becomes their main source of hydration. Is the water in the soda, but disregarding all of the sodium that comes with it, and the sugar and everything else that your kidneys now have to filter, and not having any pure water to rinse them. They're just getting rinsed with more shit they gotta filter. Terrible. Clogs you up. Causes bad stuff to happen internally. But that sort of blind faith that, oh, you know, Coke really wouldn't put anything bad in their stuff, and soda really isn't as bad as they say it is, and all this stuff, I feel fine when I drink soda. All these things that you tell yourself are vacation from your own discernment and your own sovereignty. I argue that religion, in a big way, if you wholeheartedly drink the Kool-Aid on the religion, if you're one of those big religious people, maybe say you go to church every Sunday, or, you know, you find it to be like a big part of your life, churches and stuff. Depending on how deep you go with that, Catholicism, evangelical, sort of like the real extreme. I heard Pentecostals, pretty extreme. Baptists, I know, is pretty extreme. The people who feel like they need church every Sunday, the ones who need to be a part of this bigger thing that other people are involved in order to make it more real for them. The more reinforcement that they see, the more encouraged they are that it's something real, that the more people they see believing in it, it's this combined group faith. Then it's like, oh, you believe this shit, right? Yeah, I believe this shit. Look, see, I'm doing this. Oh, okay. Good, because
the holidays are here.
Motherfucker, yes. Really?
That's why you need a leave.
Need a leave for that commercial. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. So, yeah, you're looking at your neighbor, you're like, you really believe this shit, right? Yeah, I believe it. Of course I do. Look what I'm doing. I'm doing this. Oh, okay, good. Yeah, I'm doing this. So as long as we do this together, and we don't see each other, screw up too bad, or, if I do see you screw up, I'm just going to assume that, you had some sort of a miscoming and it was short failing of some sort on your part, that it wasn't really a fault of the religion or anything, that it was just you. Okay, and I'll assume the same thing too. We tell ourselves these things because we really have nothing else to go off of. When we gather the courage to question some of these things, and then we're met with a pastor who claims to always have an open door. Come to me, question me about anything, all these things. But then all they can really say is you must have faith, and question your faith and make you feel bad for even questioning these things and turning it right back around on you. It's going to be in your nature to turn things back around on your neighbor, because it's never the fault of the thing that you're, never look behind the curtain. It's never the man behind the curtain. It's always something wrong with you, because that's what religion teaches, that you were born with something wrong with you. And the reason that thing is there is because of a God that loves you. But, I'm not going to get into the whole hypocrisies of religion, the way it's being perpetuated. But you are told that fundamentally there's something that you couldn't control that's wrong with you. You must feel bad about it. And, we're not going to let you into the happy place unless you really show us that you believe you fucked up. Even though you didn't do anything. But you fucked up. You're fucked up. That's what religion wants you to believe. So naturally, you're only going to be able to put your faith into things that multiple other people also have their faith in. Because putting your faith into a single individual, like yourself, who you're told not to trust, but trust the one that everyone trusts, is safer, because it's more likely that one individual is going to be more holistic for you. That's the logic that religion and Christians and religious Christians and just people with blind faith who don't question some of these things, that's the basic school of thought that they use and navigate the world with politics, how much science they want to believe or not believe, even though it's like proven science. They'll just come right out and just flat out deny the science because their religion doesn't support it. Like, what? This is measured things. Sure, some of it's theories, but they'll deny, like, a lot of them. They just don't go past the quantum level. Like, once some of them can entertain the physical world and stuff, the stuff they can see tangibly, but the minute they gotta like put any sort of faith in it, like quantum or anything on that level that you can't actually see without instruments and other ways, it's amazing how little faith they actually do have in things that can't be immediately proven to them. It's like, have faith in this story, this make-believe, full faith in that, stake your life on it. And yet, have no faith and no capacity for any sort of faith in other things that are based in tangible, provable things. So, I'm sure it was stated more adequately in other conversations on this subject. These are my thoughts on that. This tends to it makes for very ignorant populations of people. Very ignorant people. And it's the ignorance that they don't see that is ultimately what is getting them down. Like, they think they blame other things for it, but they don't even realize it's their own ignorance that might be causing their discomfort. And instead they perceive this discomfort and assume that it's just a product of their fucked upness, and then they get negative and go internally and just think that the world is just a negative place. They hate being here, they want to leave, they want to go to their happy place, and they don't care who they got to step on to get there. Is it emotional immaturity also that leads into some of this? Like, I've noticed that conservatives in general just really aren't very healthy emotional people. They don't know how to process emotions. A lot of them don't even know about their inner child, their trauma, their birth, their childhood trauma. They don't acknowledge that there was any trauma. They try to hide it, and almost like that there's nothing wrong with them on the outside, and that's narcissism. So a lot of them are in denial of their own narcissism, or even that narcissism exists. A lot of them then, in order to have this portrayal of the ultimate, religious experience, that you don't want to show your weaknesses, because if you do, it's going to be perceived as you're not following the correct path. And Martin Luther was one to test this path. He went all through the Catholic practices. He was a monk and lived the monk's life and chastised himself and flogged himself and did all of these Hail Marys and lived a life of, I forget what they call it, but, meager, very meager stuff, food and whatever else, whatever monks did, he did it. And he said, I've done all these things, yet I feel absolutely horrible. What, this is supposed to help me, whatever. And he said, it's not. So what is it then? If I've done all these things perfectly, exactly the way you said I needed to, why do I still feel this way? So then he realized, this isn't the right way. We need to separate from the church. It's the church that's wrong. He said, get out of the churches. All you need is the Bible. All you need is Jesus. Stuff like that. What did the Lutherans do? They went and made a church. He said, thanks, Luther. This is great. Okay, let's go start a church. Completely missing the point. But that was the idea, is that they would miss the point, because Luther was so targeted after that for saying what he had said. And of course history is going to change. It was very dangerous to be a Lutheran at that time, and of course it's going to be then formed into something, take the purity of what Luther did and then make it into something that is just going to end up leading people into the same state of confusion that the other stuff was. Just called by a different name now. Which is why you see so many different versions of the same damn thing called Christianity. But each one thinks they are the only one that's correct. Maybe a couple others are also similar, but we're the only ones who really actually are doing the right thing over here. They might make it to heaven, but not in the same way that we are. It really is just I wish people could see the hypocrisy and the ignorance. But this is me trying to get them there. I know my videos probably should be a little bit more interesting to watch and follow, but doing them naked isn't really my cup of tea yet. But this one's getting long, it's getting up there, and these really are a pain in the ass to edit if they get over, say, 45 minutes long because of how much space they take up. So I might end this one and get all this crap off my phone. I might come back on and do another video after my shower while I still can, after my workout. And maybe I'll have some more interesting things to say. But until then, it was great to see you. Please like and subscribe. I love you, and never stop spreading your light.